The entertainment world was shaken recently when legendary actor William Shatner, best known as Captain Kirk from Star Trek, shockingly lost his temper during an appearance on Stephen Colbert's late-night show. What was expected to be a lighthearted, nostalgic conversation about his iconic career quickly spiraled into chaos after Colbert made a set of remarks that Shatner clearly did not appreciate. At first, the exchange seemed casual. Colbert joked about Shatner's space tourism trip and how the actor seemed to be chasing relevance in the age of younger sci-fi stars. But something about Colbert's tone didn't sit right with Shatner. The actor, known for his commanding presence and occasional bluntness, smiled awkwardly but clenched his jaw, signaling he was not amused. The audience laughed nervously, unsure if this was scripted humor or a real brewing storm. When Colbert pushed further, teasing about how Shatner's fame was now more about being old and opinionated than about acting achievements, the mood in the studio changed sharply, and Shatner's smile finally disappeared. Trying to salvage the moment, Colbert threw in another quip about Shatner's controversial Twitter rants and how he always seemed to stir online debates more than cinematic excitement nowadays. But this only made things worse. Shatner snapped back sharply, his voice cutting through the studio air like a knife. "At least I have a career that spans 6 decades, Stephen. How many actors or hosts can say that?" he said coldly, leaving. The audience stunned. The silence was palpable. Even Colbert, master of handling awkward moments, looked momentarily taken aback. He laughed nervously, attempting to keep things light, but Shatner was far from done. The veteran actor leaned forward and added, "You think mocking me will make your ratings better? You wouldn't even have a show without legends like me paving the way for sci-fi and television history." The tension was now undeniable, and the studio staff backstage began exchanging worried glances as the exchange grew more intense with every passing second. Not one to back down easily, Colbert smirked, and replied, "I respect you, Bill, but let's not pretend you haven't courted controversy just to stay in the headlines." This was the breaking point. Shatner's face turned red, his expression fierce and unyielding. He raised his hand, stopping Colbert mid-sentence, and declared loudly, "You don't get to tell me why I'm relevant or not. I've earned every headline, every success without needing to ride on anyone's coattails, including yours." The audience gasped, many covering their mouths in disbelief. This was no longer playful banter. It was a full-blown confrontation. Colbert, visibly flustered, tried to regain control by reminding Shatner of the show's fun atmosphere, but the actor wasn't having any of it. Instead, Shatner stood up abruptly, his microphone brushing against his jacket as he moved, signaling his frustration for all to hear. The cameras quickly cut to a wide shot, unsure of what might happen next. Colbert's team scrambled behind the scenes, unsure whether to cut to commercial or let the moment play out. But the damage was done. Shatner, standing tall and firm, addressed the audience directly. "You see this? This is what happens when you come on a show expecting respect but get insults instead," he boomed, his voice echoing across the studio. The crowd sat frozen, unsure whether to clap, laugh, or remain silent. Some nervously chuckled, thinking this was an elaborate act, but the intensity in Shatner's eyes told a different story. Colbert, trying to calm the situation, offered a half-hearted apology, saying it was all in good fun, but Shatner cut him off. "Good fun? Making fun of my age, my career, my life's work is fun to you?" He spat, his anger undiminished. The awkwardness thickened in the room, suffocating the light-hearted energy the show usually thrived on. Even the band stopped playing, sensing the seriousness of the moment. Then came the most shocking moment of all. William Shatner ripped off his lapel microphone and slammed it on Colbert's desk. "I don't have to take this," he said firmly, turning toward the backstage. "Exit." Gasps filled the air as crew members rushed forward, unsure whether to intervene or let the furious star leave. Colbert, perhaps realizing the situation was slipping beyond control, called out, "Bill, wait, don't do this. Let's talk it out." But Shatner didn't stop. Without looking back, he strode off the stage, disappearing behind the curtains, leaving stunned silence in his wake. For a few seconds, the studio was dead quiet. No laughter, no applause, nothing but disbelief. Colbert sighed deeply, trying to joke about never poking Captain Kirk, but his voice lacked its usual confidence. Viewers at home were equally confused, unsure if they had just witnessed real drama or an elaborate stunt gone too far. Backstage reports soon flooded social media, with insiders confirming that the confrontation had been entirely unscripted and shockingly real. Crew members described Shatner as furious, pacing back and forth, muttering about disrespect and Hollywood's obsession with youth. Colbert, meanwhile, was seen discussing damage control strategies with his producers, debating whether to issue a public apology or play down the incident as part of the show's unpredictable nature. Within minutes, hashtags like Daukrar, Shatner Meltdown, and Colbert Clash began trending on Twitter. Fans were divided. Some defended Shatner's outburst, saying he had every right to demand respect, while others accused him of overreacting and ruining the light-hearted spirit of the show. Even major entertainment outlets picked up the story, running headlines about the dramatic fallout between two television giants. The gossip columns couldn't get enough, speculating about the long-standing tensions that might have led to such an explosion. Statements from both camps soon followed. Shatner's publicist released a terse comment, claiming that Mr. Shatner expected a respectful discussion about his illustrious career and spaceflight experiences, not ageist jokes and dismissive remarks. The statement emphasized that the actor would not tolerate mockery disguised as humor any longer. On the other hand, Colbert's team downplayed the incident, saying that the show had always maintained a playful tone and that no offense was intended. They expressed disappointment over how the situation unfolded, but stopped short of offering an outright apology. This difference in tone only fueled public debate, with fans taking sides and arguing fiercely across social platforms. Some accused Colbert of being insensitive to a living legend, while others claimed Shatner needed to loosen up and accept modern late-night humor. The clash had quickly become more than just a studio squabble. It was now a full-blown cultural moment. Other celebrities weighed in as well. Star Trek co-stars and former colleagues of Shatner took to social media, some defending their old friend's right to demand respect, while others hinted at his notorious difficulty on set. Even George Takei, Shatner's longtime frenemy, cryptically tweeted, "Some things never change in the final frontier," adding fuel to the already raging fire. Meanwhile, Hollywood analysts discussed the potential career impact on both men. Would Shatner's outburst tarnish his image as the beloved Captain Kirk? Would Colbert's reputation as a fair, sharp-witted host suffer for pushing a guest too far? Netflix and other streaming services reportedly began reconsidering promotional appearances involving either star, wary of attracting unwanted controversy. Industry insiders speculated that this incident might cool Shatner's recent renaissance in the public eye, especially after his real-life spaceflight had reignited global interest in him. Some skeptics, however, wondered aloud whether the entire confrontation was an elaborate publicity stunt designed to boost ratings for Colbert's show or drum up buzz for an upcoming Shatner project. After all, both men are seasoned performers who understand the power of viral moments. But sources close to the production quickly dismissed these theories, insisting the tension was genuine and completely unexpected. Eyewitnesses backstage described, "The mood is chaotic and uncomfortable, not the controlled environment of a pre-planned gag. Regardless of intent, the incident had taken on a life of its own, dominating headlines and entertainment talk shows nationwide. Memes, reaction videos, and parody skits flooded YouTube and TikTok, as the internet embraced the shocking moment with its usual frenzy. Whatever the truth behind the outburst, it was clear that neither Shatner nor Colbert would escape the shadow of this altercation anytime soon. As the dust settled, questions remained about whether the two stars would reconcile or whether the rift would persist publicly. Insiders claimed that private negotiations were underway to smooth things over, possibly involving a joint statement or even a follow-up appearance to clear the air. But others suggested that Shatner felt so deeply insulted that no public gesture could undo the damage. Colbert's team, meanwhile, considered whether changes to the show's format were needed to prevent future misunderstandings with high-profile guests. Fans speculated endlessly. Would Shatner ever return to late-night TV? Would Colbert issue a formal apology? Or would the feud simmer silently, leaving both men to carry the baggage into future projects? One thing was certain. This fiery exchange had left an indelible mark on pop culture, reminding everyone that even the most seasoned stars can clash spectacularly under the studio lights. The legacy of this unexpected showdown would echo in entertainment circles for years to come.